China has warned that mutual respect is the only way forward in its relations with the U.S. It follows Washington's decision to blacklist the Chinese e-commerce website Alibaba and Donald Trump's appointment of a vocal critic of China as the head of the National Trade Council. ANDRE-PIERRE takes a look at what this could mean for the world's two biggest economies.
Its increasingly destructive trade relationship with a rapidly rising China.
This is how the documentary Death by China opens, produced by this man.
And please, help defend America and protect your family. Don't buy made in China.
Peter Navarro will run a new White House Trade Council, an advisory body never before seen in previous U.S. administrations, and demonstrates President-elect Donald Trump's determination to bring manufacturing jobs back to America.
These are amazing people.
Navarro's appointment is being closely watched by Beijing. He's accused China in the past of sucking the lifeblood out of the American economy.
Just like many other countries, China is closely watching President-elect Trump's team for signs of his future policies. I wanted to reiterate that being two major countries, both China and the U.S., share broad common interests, and that cooperation is the only correct choice.
The ministry was also asked about the U.S. trade representative's decision to blacklist Alibaba. China's e-commerce giant is back on the USTR's notorious markets list, which highlights online marketplaces suspected of engaging in counterfeiting. It's a setback for the $200 billion company as it continues to court Western brands to sell goods on its shopping platform. Alibaba President Michael Evans said he questions whether the USTR acted based on the actual facts or was influenced by the current political climate. It's a comment aimed at the hard stance Trump has taken against America's trade relationship with China.
They kill us. I beat China all the time. All the time.
Next to creating a new trade body inside the Oval Office, Trump is roping in a billionaire to help cement his economic legacy as U.S. president. That billionaire is Cole Icahn, also a critic of China, who will now have a say in how financial institutions are policed. With a net worth of over $20 billion, Icahn's inclusion to Trump's cabinet will undoubtedly make this the wealthiest administration in U.S. history.
Well, AP is here to talk us through all of this. Let's start with Trump's appointees, Navarro and Icahn. Not a surprise, are they, given the host of billionaires he's included in his cabinet. What does that tell us, though, about the makeup of this high net worth group of people he's appointed to steer the country forward?
Well, what I find interesting, so I knew very little about Navarro before I actually went doing this report, and kind of find it very interesting, especially that documentary that I mentioned, how everything that Trump has said in his campaign really is a distilled version of Navarro's point of view. And I think the same goes for Icahn. Icahn is known for someone who's always been against regulation. Now, part of this, people would say, is because he has so many stakes in a range of different companies, which obviously, he does benefit from less regulation. But it also boils down to a fundamental difference, perhaps in the Republicans versus the Democrats' view of how banks specifically should be regulated. For example, Bernie Sanders, or Sanders, I should say, his whole point during his campaign was that U.S. banks are too big and that they should be split or broken up. Icahn, in an interview today with CNBC, made it very clear that these banks are too big to fail, that less regulation should be implemented to protect banks. But how does it eventually influence you and I? If these banks are allowed to balloon and take up even more smaller commercial banks, they will at the end of the day be able to charge us more ATM fees, more credit card fees. And so essentially, it's difficult. It depends on where you stand on the political aisle. And it's clear, you know, Trump has made it very clear where he stands with these appointees.
We'll find out whether they torpedo those policies through. Thanks very much, JP, for joining us.